I remember a couple of years ago when I was in school, I would just sit at the back of the classroom and play online chess for hours and hours, knowing that what I was learning in those lessons were complete bullshit. It would never actually serve me in my adult life, and I was learning shit from teachers who had never actually done that thing. Meanwhile, when class would end, I would watch like hundreds of people walk to their next class and then obviously go to university. And I was thinking in my psyche, even at that age when I was 17, 16, there's no way that if I do what all these other people are going to do, 99% of my year went to university probably, there's just no way that I'm going to be able to not just break free, because I think it's kind of corny, like the whole Matrix shit, but you know what I mean. In my brain, I was like, if I do what they do, I'm going to get the same results, and most people are unhappy and broke. Not that money is the be all or end all, it's more so that you're just living a boring fucking life for like 40 years, which I don't want, and you probably don't want either. So, yeah, it's more so to have freedom, provide, and just maximize life because we only get one life, obviously. So at that time in my life when I was at school, I obviously felt like an outsider because, yeah, to be exceptional, you do have to be the exception, according to Hormozy at least. So yeah, it's a gift, right? You thinking differently is going to allow you to live a different life. However, that does come with loneliness, anxiety, doubt, and a lot of other emotions, which I wouldn't see as a negative. I do think the meaning of life is to experience, the full spectrum of emotions, not just happiness or eudaimonia, fulfillment, but yeah, the whole deepest of the deepest emotions to the highest of the highest, right? That's what I think life is about because it's the contrast that makes it so unique. But the reason I told you that isn't to give you my life story, but to tell you that just a few years ago, I was probably in the same position as you. No idea what I wanted to do in life, but I knew I wanted to do something different and build a better life for myself. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that if I would have started when I had the perfect offer, when I had the perfect product, when I had the exact blueprint, I would never have started. You're never going to have all of those things lined up. You're never going to have the perfect offer, the perfect product, the perfect sales process, appointment setting funnel. It's never going to happen. You just have to start, and you don't have to be an expert. You just have to be one step better than the person you're helping. But back to the topic at hand. Why am I making this video? Well, this year is moving extremely fast, and the next few years are also going to move very fast. There's a lot of adaptations happening in the market to the point where if you can basically do the right things, the right inputs day to day, you're going to make a lot of wealth for yourself. So if I had to start again, it's something I do occasionally think about, not too often. But what would I do? What vehicle would I pursue? Because if you're anything like me and you like Warren Buffett, he talks about how it's not about how hard you row, right? There are people who work significantly harder than me. People that work construction jobs, people that work in mines, right? There are so many harder workers than me. I've just been lucky enough to select the right vehicle. And yeah, as Warren Buffett says, it's not about how hard you row, it's about what boat you're in. So you could click off this video and basically be swimming uphill if you want to do that, which I don't know why you would, unless you like pain. But I'm going to be basically giving you my insights into what I think is the way in which you can swim downhill by selecting the right boat or the vehicle, whatever you want to name it. So it's no miracle that AI is moving fast. It's one of the fastest growing industries. Tech, obviously, very similar. So if you're watching this, you're in the right space because you're getting one step closer. But if we want to go down the layers a bit more, then I do believe there's 2 to 3 different paths or routes that you could follow. And I'm going to explain them right now, so keep watching. As I said, they are both AI related, just because if you look at the prediction of where AI is going, it, I think, is going to hit a $1 trillion market cap by 2030. And right now it's at a few hundred billion. So there's a lot of multipliers that are going to be happening in this industry. So the first route that I would take if I had to start again would be AI consulting. Now, hear me out, right? You're probably thinking, Charlie, I have no idea, I don't have enough information and experience around AI to consult others, let alone use it myself. And that's okay because I've been in your position before. And yes, you're going to have to, increase the learning curve, speed it up, but it's possible. And I'm going to explain how right now. So, of course, every industry has a unique set of constraints. So, I would love to just tell you to do one thing and that's going to make you rich, but that's not reality. I don't know who you're going to help, and the offer should be around their pain points. You shouldn't be selling what you want, but what the market wants. So nowadays, you're extremely lucky because you have something that I didn't when I started, which is general AI assistance, right? You have ChatGPT, you have Claude, Perplexity, you have these LLMs, these large language models that you can just ask what is the biggest pain points of dentists or chiropractors or fitness coaches. Ideally, choose an industry that you're passionate about. Maybe you've worked in that industry before. Those are just some mental models that you can use to select a good niche. But the point is that you're going to use what I didn't have, which is AI, to basically do all the deep research for you. And once you find the constraints that that industry has, congratulations. Now you mold yourself to that and you learn the skills to deliver and solve that problem. And obviously for the first client or two, you can work for free. You can work on a results basis. You can make it less risky for the client. But that is how you get your foot in the door, by selling AI solutions mapped around their pain points. So yeah, you're lucky enough to have AI to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, research, so forth, which I didn't have. It was a lot harder. I say in my day, I sound like a 40-year-old dad, but you know what I mean. A few years ago, we didn't really have the luxury that you have. So once you do identify what that problem is, that burning pain point, it's obviously now about developing system proof, developing a working prototype. You're going to learn tools like make.com, maybe NA10. These are no-code softwares where you can essentially integrate LLMs, right? So instead of just using ChatGPT, because that's not valuable, you actually want to use make.com or NA10, or there's a bunch of other ones. There's Vector Shift, to basically deploy AI into their business. And that is in the form of vertical AI agents. Vertical AI agents are essentially where you have an AI agent that is specifically designed to solve one pain point in one market. So think about an AI tax accountant, or maybe an AI lawyer appointment scheduler, or maybe a HVAC sales voice agent. There are hundreds of different AI agents or AI solutions that you can offer, but the key is validating it. So as I said, this is just path one. So you essentially use AI to find your niche's biggest pain points. You then learn software to be able to deploy AI around the pain point that they're struggling with. And then you essentially just offer it for free or very cheap to get feedback and validate your offer. And obviously the hardest point is actually getting clients. So that's what I meant about you're never going to have the perfect offer. And I can't remember who said this, but someone once said, if you aren't ashamed by your first product, then you haven't been doing business or entrepreneurship correctly, right? It's not going to be the best. Think about the iPhone. It's not like Steve Jobs or Apple just came out with an iPhone straight away. It's impossible. They came out with a shitty iPod. It was probably crap, right? But it's only through the feedback of getting customers, the reiteration of the product, that they built one of the best ecosystems out there, to the point where they've made a product so goddamn good in the form of an iPhone, where you now have to buy the AirPods, a charger to charge it, you buy a MacBook, and you have this ecosystem that they've created because their product is so goddamn good. But the only way in which they've gotten to that point is by releasing hundreds of different products and getting better each one they release. So your product's going to suck. Your service isn't going to be the best. But if you can just start working with people, business owners, and getting feedback, learning as you go through empirical knowledge, which is the opposite of university, which is conceptual knowledge, then you're going to do very well for yourself. And that is by far the fastest way to learn. You could sit there all day and, just learn these platforms, which is a starting point. Maybe spend a few days learning make.com or NA10 or Vector Shift or any other, AI software, whether it's SimFlow to deploy voice agents, right? But it's much more efficient to just try and validate an offer, right? Whether it's through emails, DMs, calling up business owners in your niche, and just offering them whatever your solution is to their pain points, and just make it extremely attractive and sexy for them to work with you. And then you're going to get the feedback to be able to improve it. If you're wondering what the second part or the second route would be, it would basically be a done for you and then done with you consulting AI offer. So instead of just doing consulting, but obviously you have to, I would recommend doing it for the first few clients because it's obviously way easier to sell. If you look at the spectrum where you have done for you, done with you, do it yourself. So done for you being the typical agency model, done with you being consulting, and then do it yourself being a course, which is probably the worst. Done for you is by far the easiest to sell because you're saving them time and you're just doing it for them, which is convenient. Done with you, which is consulting, which is typically harder to sell. So if you don't have clients, you should do done for you. But then obviously once you get clients, you can transition into just AI consulting where you maybe teach or help their in-house team to do it, if that makes sense. But then also the route 2 would be just do it for them and then release it into their business. And therefore you get the advantage of it being a sticky service because it's now a part of their business, which is different to back in the day. You think about Facebook ads or the whole SMMA Tai Lopez model where you would have to honestly deliver month after month to get paid. Because it is true, like reoccurring revenue requires recurring value. But now, instead of you providing that recurring value in the form of ads or doing content or stuff like that, you can place automations, you can place AI agents into the business that allows the recurring value to take place, which allows for recurring revenue for you to get paid each month. So that is pretty sick. So that's what I mean about you do it for them. It's in their business, and then you maybe consult them once a week, or you maintain it, you hop on a call with them once a week just to build that relationship. Because at the end of the day, a service-based business or an agency business is just a relationship business. You're dealing with people. So you obviously want to provide the KPIs. You want to provide a weekly report to them. You want to check in with them once a week. So that's what I mean about route 2 compared to route 1, which would just be consulting. But I personally would do route 2, but it all comes from just getting stuck in and started straight away without, messing about or procrastinating. Because as I mentioned, we only have a few years until people are going to be just dominating. And if you're wondering how do you get clients, well, it comes through communication, just like what I'm doing right now. If you know what to say, you can have anything you want in life. I think Dan Henry talks about that. And it's true. If you think about the most powerful people to ever exist, they didn't type emails in their basement. They spoke. They used their mouth, right? Because it is so much easier to convey your message when you're speaking over typing. You can get your personality across. You can get your story across. You can get all of these, important nuances to the person you want to help. Because right now, if you aren't able to get clients and you're doing the work and you're doing the inputs, it's most likely because they don't trust you. And we are in a trust crisis right now. So to solve that, you need to get actually speaking with your niche, whether it's on a call, whether it's through content, whether it's through ads, whether it's through, I don't know, whatever it may be, in person. Great example. Because once you get that first client, it's so much easier to get the second client, third client. So you have to do something that's uncomfortable to get what most people can't have, and then you're chilling. Because you can scale through incentivized referrals. You can scale through like paid partnerships. It's so much easier once you have a client or two to then scale it up. And you don't have to do the thing that's causing you pain for the rest of your life. It's just temporary discomfort where you may have to, get outside your comfort zone, speak to your niche, convey the opportunity of you installing AI into their business. And if you do that, you're going to find one person who will give you a chance. And that's all it takes. And then once you get that chance, you do everything in your power to over-deliver. You build the automation or whatever you offered to them. But then you take it a step further. You do other stuff for them. You over-deliver because price is what you pay, value is what you get. When you make the value 10 times what they paid, that is how you build an insane company just like Apple, right? Because they now have your trust. They're going to keep on paying you. And it's so much easier to make double in terms of how much the client pays you, which is LTV or lifetime gross profit, than it is to do marketing and get twice as many clients, right? So once you get that client, just do everything you can to over deliver. And that is the easiest way to scale. But it obviously depends on your niche, right? Because as I said, with the offerings, I can't just tell you what to sell because you all help different people. And Same with getting clients. You need to find out where your niche, spend the time, and then speak with them. Do that, and you're going to make money. More conversations, more money. You need to be having those conversations. And right now, I can pretty much guarantee you that if you're broke and you don't have clients, it's because no one knows who the hell you are. So it's pretty easy of a problem to solve. It's just getting attention. And that's what I mean. It's not hard. It's not complex. It's very simple, just with resistance. That's the only difference. It's simple. You probably know what you need to do. I've just told you pretty much in terms of your offer and then how to get clients. And obviously you can use AI to go deeper, find research, and utilize the things that I didn't have, which is AI, to do all the answers for you. But you just need to get started. So it's never going to feel like the right time. You can continue watching countless videos after this, but I promise you, your future self will thank you. Those around you will thank you if you pull this off. And I believe in every single one of you watching this right now. I do love all of you guys. And we're trying to get to 100k subs. I think we can do it this year. And if you found value in this, just subscribe. That's all I really ask for. I'm not selling you anything. I don't care if you pay me, if you don't pay me. That's it from me. I'm going to be posting more videos on this channel. So just subscribe, because you're going to miss out if you don't. So I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy and have an amazing day, guys.